Hey everyone, this is Jason Berg, Project Manager at WDDinc. I'm here with Scott Jones
Hi, everyone.
to take a look at a project developed here at WDDinc for Financial Center Federal Credit Union. This is a website brochure front end that we developed for them. Before we jump into this piece of software, let's quickly get to know Scott. Scott, you've been at WDDinc how many years?
About 2 years now.
About 2 years, and you've been a developer for a long time now. So why don't you give us a little bit history in your background?
Sure. I started doing development back in the Navy, back in the late 80s, early 90s, and I got out of the Navy after several years and continued on in civilian life, finished my education, and have been developing professionally now for about 15 years.
Wow, 15 years. Pretty impressive. You saw a lot of technology come through
I did.
your developer screen, I guess.
Yes, I started out with C and BASIC.
Okay, and this
So
FCFCU website here, what was this written in?
this was written in PHP.
PHP.
New web development language.
So I assume that's a MySQL backend.
Yes, MySQL backend, PHP, standard LAMP, Apache, Linux type of configuration.
Okay. Well, let's go ahead and jump into the product here real quick. So Financial Center Federal Credit Union is a credit union here in Indianapolis, and they came to us for a complete redo of their brochure site, the front end of that. They wanted it built on a CMS, but most importantly, since this is a bank, they wanted it very, very secure. And so we'll jump in a couple of features that had some kind of more interesting coding that we had to do on this site, and then also touch base a little bit on the security side of things.
Sure. And just to explain the website here, this is the homepage for FCFCU, and one of the nicer things I think about this website is the menuing system. It's very elegant and it's very intuitive, and as you can see, it's with a lot of menuing systems, I think they go down so many levels. This one is nice and it's only a couple of levels deep. But if you go to a sub-level, then you have the sidebars here that are very kind of direct you to where you want to go.
Oh, so secondary navigation there.
So I think the secondary navigation is also something, and you always know where you are, because if you'll notice the top menu here is going to be repeated down here, so you know exactly where you are. So if you click on anything, it's going to always show you where you are without being too obtrusive. And if you also notice with the menuing system, we have this sidebar here to the right that lets the FCFCU folks give a blurb as to what they want to feature. Like, for instance, this is a mortgage. They want people to apply to a mortgage, so they can go to that link. But also it has a contact us, so they're constantly keeping their customers and potential customers aware of how to get in touch with us. Because one of the things that I think it frustrates me as a user sometimes is that you want to go to a site, find out how to call the customer service, and you have to spend 10 minutes doing it.
Lots of contact us all over. Now, that ad area you were showing there, is that controlled on the CMS?
Yes, there's the content management system on the back end that is also very secure. We work diligently to get that as secure as possible. And all of these blurbs, if you notice on each one of these, they have a blurb.
Oh, they're all different.
Yes. And it depends on, for instance, this is for business. So they want to highlight HSAs for borrowing. Or they want to be looking for answers for a cash flow question. Invest and insure.
So if they're starting a new campaign, they can come and customize that for whatever they want on the fly. Cool.
Exactly.
Very cool.
And again, they always emphasize, here's how you're going to contact with us.
Yeah, because I think usually when people think of CMSs, they think of the main content area where they can go edit, and this is giving them control not just in the content area, but in the menuing system itself, more than just changing what actual items are in the menu. That's pretty neat.
Yes, and that's one of the things highlighted here with the CMS is that they can control the menus, they can control the behavior with the sidebar here. Which is very important. It lets you have a lot more flexibility. As a developer, I want to develop software that lets the user do as much as possible on their own, so they don't have to contact me to go and do it for them.
Yes.
Which is, again, a good CMS would
and
do
this
that.
is a good example where our user base, the client, were not programmers.
Right.
And so we needed to make it very simple for them to be able to understand, because they're marketing people.
Right, exactly. And we don't want to have everybody be software developers.
Right.
So that's the menuing system, and that kind of gets you a feel for that. Now, one of the things on this is the search feature at the top of the page here. And one of the features with search engines, anytime you have any kind of the user giving input, is security. It's very, substantial thing, and there have been a lot of, especially lately, attacks in the news of people getting hacked, and even government sites getting hacked, secure government sites getting hacked. So we wanted to be diligent in making sure that when you type in a search, like if you want to type in loans, for instance, and you'll just search capabilities, that the search results and everything is going to be on the back end. It's going to save your results, and it's going to also make sure that you don't have any breaches in security or any chance that somebody would put in some kind of script to hack your database.
Right.
Especially with any kind of input boxes. It's one thing we wanted to be
so that's
sure
vulnerable
about.
To SQL injection, cross-site scripting, all these that you hear in the news.
Exactly.
This is kind of where people would attack that.
Exactly, and also with cross-site scripting to make sure when they go to a page that they aren't vulnerable to that type of attack.
Okay.
Another thing, it's pretty standard nowadays. We have the share button. They can share with all the social media.
Mm-hmm.
They can do a print. And they can also do, have a text size. So wherever they're at on the site, they can always change their text size. I know, but text size, accessibility is a major thing nowadays. So, and also if you notice with the share button, they always have the ability to close. And I think that's the user interface of this is very elegant and very easy to understand.
Well, good.
Another feature on this that we worked hard to integrate is the find a location feature. And if you'll notice also when I clicked it on the top menu here, that when we came down to the bottom area, that it also gives you the same type of navigation. It tells you where you are, and also tells you, if you want to go to all locations, you can search here. It's a regular Google search. If you want to search for just branches, it can find a location. And you'll notice that it takes you back to this page. So surcharge free ATMs, it tells you where those are. And it integrates to Google Maps, and as you can see, there are lots of locations here. So definitely, giving them the ability to narrow that down and only get 2 or 3 little,
So you have to give them some pretty powerful searching tools here
to
get just what they need.
Yes. For instance, I'll search for this zip code, and you'll notice it definitely narrows it down somewhat to the first 5. But you have 40 still. So even with the zip code, you're going to, because
that's probably like
specific.
Within 50 miles of 46240 type stuff. Yeah.
Right, and also if they want to, you can do shared branches as another feature. And again, it narrows it down somewhat, but then you still have, a good feature of this is you can also zoom in on the map.
So it's like a full Google Maps integration there.
Exactly,
cool.
which was there are lots of different maps, but Google Maps really the predominant one. We wanted to kind of feature that and make it easy. So whatever they're searching for, they can find, and it's like everything else they search for on the web. It's very consistent.
Well, very nice. Well, this was Financial Center Federal Credit Union. Thank you, Scott, for walking us through this, some of the more nifty features that we have in here. And this is live, as you can see, at FCFCU.com. So feel free to visit and check it out. And thank you for watching. Hope you all have a great day.